Hey, welcome to your Equity the channel where we go over all things real estate related. So let's get into the numbers, let's get into the charts as to what's happening with the market as far as the real estate market here in Las Vegas, Henderson, and North Las Vegas. So let's check out what's going on with median sales prices. All right, you guys, so this here is median sales prices for Las Vegas, Henderson, and North Las Vegas. So you guys can see that we ended up peaking out last year, in about that April-May time period of last year. We came down, we bottomed out right here in January, February of this year, and we have been on the incline for all three cities, for the entire Las Vegas Valley. So that's a great thing. We definitely didn't want to see continual drops in housing values, but for those of you who are wanting to purchase a property at a much lower purchase price, obviously you guys probably had wished that these prices had continue to keep coming down, but that is not the trend. And surprisingly, knowing where we are at with interest rates, because they are at a historical high. What I mean by that is we have not seen this particular interest rate for a long time. Now we're going to go into how far back it was that we had interest rates this high, but I'm telling you, it has been a very long time. Now, for those of you who understand a little bit of the dynamics, what happens with interest rates and therefore housing values, it scratches your head and being like, well, wait a second, how could we have high interest rates and yet we seeing property values go up? Because for those of you who know, those who have to borrow money, when interest rates go up for a mortgage, that increases your monthly payment. And there's not a lot of people, especially today with the way that inflation is, that can afford an even more expensive monthly bill. So when housing value, which is our biggest expense, how can prices be going up? Which means demand is high enough to push these prices up. How is that possible when on the other end, you've got something that's causing demand to decrease? Well, let's get into what's happening currently right now with interest rates. All right, you guys, so in this chart, this is showing us where we are at currently with interest rates. Now, we ended up popping up about a week ago. We've come down a little bit, but extremely nominal, especially when you compare where we have been literally since the beginning of this year. So we did visit these 7% interest rates back last year in October, November of last year, and we have significantly increased from a dip that we felt in February all the way back up and exceeded that. So we are in the low 7% when it comes to mortgage rates. Now, again, how in the world can we have property values going up when interest rates, which are supposed to be like, in a sense, demand killers, bringing up property values here in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson? How is that possible? Well, I'm going to explain it really simply. So everything's about supply and demand. So the supply of homes and the demand for those homes. Well, if we have the demand at lower levels than we've seen, but yet the demand is a little bit higher than where we've got supply, guess what? Prices are going to increase. So why in the world do we have such a low inventory? Well, we'll get into that, but let's look at a chart showing what's happening with inventory in the Las Vegas area. All right, you guys, this is our housing supply right here. Homes for sale, Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas. We've got some pretty high peaks, pretty low lows, and we've got something that's been crazy over here. Now, as you guys can see, inventory pretty much got significantly high in the last several months, but this is the beginning of 2022. So this is last year. This was basically when we ended up peaking out as far as home sales prices. Remember those crazy times when it was just like news article after news article, we've hit a brand new high, a new high, a new high, a new high. Well, interest rates jumped way up from the beginning of last year, and we've seen those continue to keep increasing. But that ended up putting a huge stop on that massive increase of home price acceleration. After that, home prices started to come down. Well, at the same time too, we had housing supply that came down too. Why is that? Well, homeowners who are looking to sell their property most likely tend to buy another property with a mortgage. Now, if they've locked in since low interest rates over the past, I would say 10 years, they don't want to jump into a 7% interest rate when buying a new home when they've been able to lock in a much lower interest rate. Therefore, a lot of sellers are like, I'm not going to put my house on the market and sell it and then have to deal with a still high or potentially high monthly payment. I'm not going to do that. So sellers or homeowners have been not jumping into the market, demand dropping for housing values, and yet at the same time with interest rates going up, it's been lowering the demand for housing, but yet those that are still looking to purchase a property, those numbers are exceeding the amount of supply. Therefore, what do we've got going on? A dynamic where we've got low inventory, high interest rates, low demand, but yet home values are going up. I know, crazy little phenomenon that we got going on. This is where we're at. Do we expect to continue to keep going down this trend? That is definitely something that's being debated not only among real estate agents, lenders, economists, folks like yourself, talking with your families and friends. That is highly debated, and it's going to be interesting to see where we go over the next 6 months, concluding 2023. But I do want to show you guys how historic what's going on with these interest rates. I know that we went over the supply of homes, but everything that's being dictated with the housing market is all coming down to these interest rates. All right, you guys, check out what's been going on over the last 20 or so years. I mean, we have not seen these high interest rates since going back to the early 2000s. That's insane. So we have seen a beautiful decline of interest rates over the past, since the early 2000s, which benefited so many homeowners with property values coming up. Now, I know that we had the crazy crash of 2008, and with that, so you've seen a kind of a flattening then, and then a big decline. Why? We had Federal Reserve, we had an economy that was trying to sit here and get the economy back running again after that crazy crash and recession. So they kept interest rates really low. Then we ended up having COVID. What happened with COVID? You had a complete stop of everything. The entire economy, for the most part, it seemed for a very short amount of time. Well, the Fed came in and was like, well, we can't have that. Let's lower interest rates. What happened with that? Boom, now all of a sudden you had a massive demand for housing with interest rates extremely low. And once that happened, we had all of this money flood into the market, and now we ended up having massive inflation. Now the Fed is like, whoa, we need to stop this. We need to slow this down. We're raising interest rates now. And this is where we're at. This is what we're dealing with. So you guys can see when you've got outside forces, macroeconomics that are playing a big part on what's happening with all of our money, how this ends up affecting at least the housing market. So just to shed some light so you guys are educated on what's going on historically with interest rates. So with all of that said, what should you do? What are you contemplating? I would really love to understand your guys' mindset. Those who are watching this video, what are you trying to plan on doing? Whether you own a home, are you trying to or wanting to sell it? And are you in that same mindset with so many other sellers out there or homeowners out there that I am not going to put my house on the market, sell it, and then try to buy another home at these high interest rates? Are you trying to go ahead and wait for interest rates to come down? Are you feeling like, you know what, I would sell during this time, but right now it's not, I don't need to sell right now. I don't want to sell right now. And even if I wanted to, I would, despite the fact that we're at these high interest rates. It'd be very interesting to hear from you guys. Now, buyers out there, I fully understand the frustration it comes with wanting to purchase a home, knowing that prices had come down, we're on the uptrend when it comes to home values. What is it that's going to happen with interest rates? Every time the interest rate goes up, my affordability drops. You know, I can't, with all the other expenses out there, I can't afford a high mortgage. I totally get it. There are a lot of programs out there. There's a lot of products that lenders offer to be able to lower your interest rate. Now, that could be temporarily because there's 2-to-1 buy downs, 3-to-1 buy downs, adjustable rate mortgages, all these other packages that lenders offer borrowers who are looking to purchase a home. Now, with that said, it's like, well, I need it to be able to know that it's going to stay down long enough for me to be able to continue to afford the home. And are we in the next couple of years going to be in a spot where we can refinance at a lower rate, therefore making it even more affordable, or that I feel comfortable being to move into a purchase of a home? I want to be able to tell you guys that yes, that's what's going to happen. Like I said, all of this is so highly debatable. I do expect that interest rates may begin to start trending down maybe in 2024. What's going to happen between now and the end of the year, I don't necessarily feel confident to say exactly what's going to happen. There is a potential for interest rates to kind of begin to come down, so we could be back into the 6s again. But that still puts a lot of people like, well, I still can't afford to purchase a property in the 6% interest rate. Totally understand. I am doing a bunch of research right now to be able to go ahead and put it out there to you guys that there is a way that you guys can get a historically low interest rate again and have that locked in for the whole duration of the time you own your property, either until you sell it or you refinance it. But I will keep you tuned in to what that is. It's not an easy way of being able to acquire a property because you need the participation of the seller with that. But I am doing everything I can to research what properties are available in Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, where you guys can take advantage of those low interest rates that you guys used to see. I'm talking about the 2.5%, the 3%, the 3.5%, and you guys will have that locked in. And if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. I'd love to be able to talk with you guys to assist you guys in being able to acquire a property at a low interest rate. But with that said, this pretty much concludes what's going on with the market as of right now. Now, next month I will give you guys another update as to what's happening with the housing market. But for those of you who are contemplating purchasing a property and you want a real estate agent that is going to look out for you in every way possible, I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Nevada. All of my business is done here in the Henderson, Las Vegas, and North Las Vegas area. And as your agent, I am going to offer you $1,500 so that you guys can use it for whatever you guys want. Whether that's buying appliances, doing some repairs, maybe that's landscaping, maybe that's just covering your guys' closing costs to make it cheaper to be able to go ahead and move in to purchase a property. Now, for you sellers of real estate out there, you guys are like, look, I need to be able to take as much of my equity with me as possible. And I am with you on that. I, as your real estate agent, am going to ensure that you keep the most amount of money in your pocket when you list your home and you sell it. How do I do that? I do that by not gouging you like all these other real estate agents intend to do. Now, they may not think that they're gouging you, but I'm telling you, there is a way for you to be able to go ahead and market your home, sell it, and not pay an exorbitant amount in closing costs. So if you're interested in what that looks like for you personally, please give me a call. Otherwise, please share this video with those who think would love to hear the data on all that's happening in the Valley. But those of you who think that, hey, I got a family member or a friend who's looking to sell their home or purchase a home, I want you to be able to help them out because I know you're going to end up taking care of them from the beginning of escrow all the way to the end and save them a heck of a lot of money doing it. All right? I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.